Body image is the representation we produce of what we think we look like. It might or may not bear a close relation to how other people really see us. Do you love yourself? This is a query that might appear simple, yet a lot of individuals have a hard time answering it. There's nothing wrong in loving yourself. Loving yourself is essential for your well-being. Loving yourself is essential to lead a successful and happy life filled with confidence. After all, how may you become happy if you don't love yourself? As happiness comes from inside, you have to love yourself in the process. We live in a cultivation which celebrates slenderness and condemns fatness. For young women, the fear of becoming fat formulates during adolescence and goes on into adulthood, even among slender, active females. These fears may produce patterns of overexercise or undereating which might have devastating health outcomes. Poor intakes of food and calcium may lead to osteoporosis, bone thinning, and a low-calorie consumption may contribute to amenorrhea, lack of normal menses, which, by lowering the output of the bone-building sex hormone estrogen, may increase the severity of osteoporosis. Extreme engrossment with thinness may likewise lead to anorexia nervosa and/or bulimia, two disorders which may produce an array of ruinous physical issues. According to researchers, participation in sports is among the best body image enhancers. Researchers studied 152 young women of age 11 to 17 who were attending summer programs, both in the US and Mexico. The young women filled in questionnaires designed to get info about perceived weight, worries about weight, dieting behavior, body image, and components shaping body image. Researchers likewise measured each young lady's BMI, body mass index. The young women in the study reflected their culture's idolization of slenderness, tending to overestimate their weight if they were of a normal weight and being pleased if they were skinny. For instance, women who saw themselves as too fat really had a healthy weight-height ratio. Teenagers who had high body image had a BMI below normal. Sports involvement was linked with bettered body image. Young women who played on greater numbers of sports teams had greater body images, likened to women who played on few or no squads. Aside from sports involvement, the material but not the frequency of parental remarks was likewise vital in determining body image. Body image marks of young women who got negative comments from parents were much tougher than the self-ratings of women who got favorable comments. Overall, women with high body image tended not to look outside themselves to specify their body images. Inside they were able to get feelings of self-worth which extended to their physical looks. Comparing is an innate tendency we all have. It may be utterly neutral, as if you simply evaluate similarities and differences. Such comparing is necessary for astute reasoning. It's likewise productive if you're prompted to emulate someone's impressive traits. But it becomes dysfunctional when it conjures up the green-eyed monster and jealousy, if you label yourself as better as or less than other people. We're a fellowship of comparison addicts. It begins from day one. Children are compared to one another. Who's smarter, more precious? Then comes elementary school. Not so different from the breakdown of our comparisons in later life, interpersonally and politically. Comparing yourself to other people may prevent a bond of common companionship and is a disservice to discovering true worth. Either you'll wind up with the short end of the stick or, if you put yourself above anybody, you're nowhere. No one is above anybody else. Self-pride must come from merely being you. Act differently. Rehearse dealing with jealousy and the green-eyed monster by heedfully utilizing humility and preventing comparisons, even if the individual irritates you. For example, instead of mechanically bristling or shrinking in your seat when your supervisor praises this colleague, second her great ideas, a collegial reaction. Praise yourself. Gain self-pride from your efforts to deal with the green-eyed monster or positively. Demonstrating humbleness and putting off comparisons lets you build self-pride. It nurtures a loving versus defensive attitude in relationships. It's a huge deal that your clothes affect or influence other people. However, what about selecting the correct clothes so that they best affect you? Your clothes don't just wire messages to other people. You select one item over another because of your mission for that day. Making favorable wardrobe selections prove that selecting the correct clothes influences your energy state and your thinking. It's hard to be satisfied, find a great job, have a fit relationship, or be successful in your attempts, regardless what they are, if you can't have a true grasp on yourself. You have to be able to have a cognizance of your value and your worth, and a bad body image ruins that. Body image is something that we likely have all fought with at one time or other. Even those gifted with exceptional genetics have insecurities about their bodies. These insecurities, when brooded on, tend to fester, and may lead to really serious issues. Damaging body image isn't something to be taken lightly. If your daughter has a bad body image now, it may impact things you'll do years from now. It's crucial to realize the risks of bad body images, and help your girls to defeat this inclination, and be positive about who they are and how they appear.